Hello, I'm Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic and welcome to the latest thrilling installment of WTF Moments, this time from last night's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. And if there's a word to sum up last night's episode, it is fine. Fine matches, fine promos, fine commentary, everything was just fine apart from a couple of things. The first of those things being the realization that Tamina is actually going to become the SmackDown Women's Champion, and also the baffling call that WWE have put Bray Wyatt and The Fiend back into the Universal Championship picture. More on that later. Hit the bloody intro. Hiya. WTF! The WTF? So much in one image. And the funny thing is, I'm not even talking about Braun Strowman actually being Universal Champion. Imagine saying that sentence about 10 or 11 days ago. Anyway, first of all, the white strap on that belt graphic thing in the top corner, that's white there, which indicates that Braun Strowman is not the Universal Champion, but of course, he is the SmackDown Women's Champion, meaning Bayley's record-breaking reign has come to an end. Wow. And secondly, that bloody t-shirt he's wearing. And no, I'm not making this a WTF moment because WWE would call something relating to one of their superstars the Something Express after, of course, the Lex Express. Even though it happened about a bajillion years ago, it is still horrible to look back on, isn't it, everybody? Because I'm making it a WTF moment because WWE, I'm speaking right to you now, you think you can release some train-related merch and not have it related to Tamina? I do not see any evidence of any hashtags organically taken off on social media that relate to both Braun Strowman and trains, do I? I don't see the WWE Universe rallying around one of the greats of our time, one of the most charismatic superstars in the history of WWE, one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of wrestling. I'm Sean Connery now. But hashtag all aboard the Tamina train, hashtag the Strowman Express is rubbish. There's the hashtags you want. Now I know this might be a weird WTF moment to make after what we've seen from the likes of John Cena and Bray Wyatt over recent times, but Shinsuke Nakamura coming out to challenge Braun Strowman, that's long-term storytelling from WWE. They didn't forget, of course, Braun Strowman and Shinsuke Nakamura. They were feuding over the Intercontinental Championship for a little while there, and then things changed, and now they've brought it back round again. They don't always not forget. So then not forgetting is a WTF moment, and I need to sit down. They don't not forget. They don't... You know what I mean? Mago. The Kabuki Warriors held the women's tag team titles for 6 months. Tremendous champions, said Michael Cole. And I was shocked Michael could say that sentence there with a straight face. Although, when he said that sentence there, we couldn't see his face. For all we know, he might have been doing that old troll face thing. They're really cool, guys. Tremendous champions, claims Michael Cole, but I'm reading the stats and I see 7 title defenses in 6 months for the Kabuki Warriors as WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and I don't think those two things add up now, do they, Michael? Of course, no fault of the Kabuki Warriors, of course, but WWE just make these bloody championships you have mean something. It can't be that hard. Just have them appear on television more often than they don't appear on television. Simples. Made a grave mistake, Corey. Nikki Cross's dream came true at WrestleMania, according to Corey Graves. But I was thinking to myself, Nikki Cross has already held the Women's Tag Team Championships with Alexa Bliss, so that particular dream, Corey, it already had been realised, hadn't it? And I know that winning a big championship match at WrestleMania is the dream for everybody who not only does the professional wrestling, but likes the professional wrestling as well. But you're not telling me Nikki Cross was dreaming about that WrestleMania moment and saw it happening like it actually did? I mean, if she did, I want to speak about Nikki Cross about many all the things that are going to happen in the future, since she's obviously a psychic. If that's even the right word to use there. It's probably not. Let me know my mistake below. Thank you and good night, he said. Elias got to finish a song. He never gets to finish a song. In terms of the music in the WWE, he's the biggest cook going because he never gets to finish. But he finished last night. The end is near. Music. The end is nigh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh, nigh. And then we have Michael Cole reacting to the single best WrestleMania moment of all time, Otis and necking on. When Maggle said, average Joes like me, we can now swing for the fences. Married man Maggle Cole, of course, saying that. Penny for Mrs. Cole's thoughts. Oh, I miss Penny. I mean, I guess a penny for Mrs. Cole's thoughts in general for actually being married to Maggle Cole. What the hell must that be like? But also a penny for the thoughts of your husband going, wow, I can swing for the fences and get any gal I want, even though he should have the gal he could only ever want, being Mrs. Maggle Cole, of course. And I guess after seeing that on Smackity Down, I'm here speaking on behalf of the WWE Universe, Mrs. Cole. My deepest condolences for your marriage. Maggle's going off for something new. Now I know, you know, everybody knows that Sonya Deville is really, really guilty. We saw as much on last week's Smackity Down when footage was shown of her being an utter bastard, meddling in Mandy and Otis's date. But last night she swanned down to the ring next to, alongside Dolph Ziggler and was all like, I haven't seen Mandy for a week. Mandy's my best pal. How could somebody do this to mine and Mandy's relationship? I've been stitched up. But then she's also out there cheering on Dolph Ziggler, the man who Mandy wants to get rid of. Now, of course, she's doing this because she's bloody guilty. We saw it. Video evidence. That is not what JBL claimed it to be. Fake news. That is real as real can get. But the WTF moment here is how Sonya is not doing a very good job of convincing anybody of her argument that she is indeed innocent. Why would she be next to and cheering on Dolph Ziggler if she was innocent? Idiot. Ah, that showed you. Identity theft is not a joke, Michael. Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. And that there is an Office reference, and that there is single-handedly the best thing Dolph Ziggler has ever done in his career. The only thing that was missing from that greatness there from Dolph Ziggler was him repeatedly shouting, Michael, Michael, at Maggle Cole. Maybe you should be shouting Maggle, Maggle, who knows? Now I saw that picture there and I felt compelled to do some sort of PSA for my beacon of hope in this world, the lovely Otis. I did a Google and I found something here from Catherine Collins, a dietitian at St George's Hospital in London. And she said, ages ago by the way, you would probably need to have around 400 bananas a day to build up the kind of potassium levels that would cause your heart to stop beating. Now I know that eating 400 bananas might seem like a lot of bananas for one sitting, but this is Otis we're talking about. Otis is capable of doing that. Otis, of course, is capable of doing anything. He got Mandy. I love Otis. But be careful, do not eat all of the bananas. And then we have The Miz with the first WTF moment relating to him on last night's show being the fact that he was there. When was this week's episode of SmackDown taped? If you know, let me know. But secondly, The Miz was saying we now have Braun Strowman, who is the Universal Champion. He is a champion who appears on more shows than not, which is more that can be said for some other champions in the not too distant past. And I was thinking, Miz, if you're speaking about Brock Lesnar, how very 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018 and or 2019 of you. And I'm saying that because, as we all know, because we've watched it with our own eyes, Brock has been on more Raws than he's missed Raws so far in 2020, which can only mean The Miz had to have been talking about Billy G. He's not the champion. He's just a jobber who lost to Braun 101. What am I doing here? That didn't even make any sense, did it? But burying your own brand, Michael. How counterproductive of you. And then we have The Miz saying, newsflash, the Usos and the New Day, they injured The Miz, so The Miz could not compete at WrestleMania 36. And I was thinking, the Usos and the New Day gave The Miz symptoms of the pandemic. Why are they all at work? Could you imagine being Raw? The USA Network executives, you've got yourself a lovely, lovely, lovely thing from NXT in Bianca Belair. Could you imagine then being the Fox executives in charge, of course, of all things SmackDown, and you get to see your lovely, lovely package from NXT was the Forgotten Sons. Oh dear. But the Forgotten Sons on SmackDown, first of all, why? And second of all, sucks to be you, SmackDown. Made a grave mistake, Corey. And then while speaking about them, Corey Graves said, after dominating NXT, and I'm thinking, are you dizzy blood, Corey Graves? Do you know what the word dominating means? And then we fast forward through those American flag wearing people squashing those luchadors called the Lucha House Party. And we have Steve Cutler who says, you've got the future right here. And I was thinking, big old Steve, big old Wesley, and big old Braxton. I'll give you 4 weeks before you've been ascensioned. Whoa, whoa! The Tamina train is pulling out the station once again. So first of all, Tamina cuts a wonderful promo with no WTF moments. She sounded like a really threatening human being for the first time in her WWE career. Progress! But then you listen to what she says and you realise, bloody hell, she's going to flatten Sasha Banks on next week's SmackDown. Then in the future, she's going to become SmackDown Women's Champion. And finally, and I'm just going to throw this out there for the people who work for WWE, who always watch these videos. Yeah, they do, they really do. May the 24th, 2010, Tamina makes her WWE main roster debut alongside the Usos. May the 24th, 2020 is a Friday, and that's the day Smackity Down happens. So when, and if, but when Tamina flattens Sasha Banks and gets her shot at Bayley's SmackDown Women's title, have that title match take place on May the 24th. I know it's a while to wait, but bloody hell, the stars are aligning and they spell train. And after watching 1.5 episodes of whatever the hell that thing is there, I can guarantee you it will not be number 3 in the Netflix charts if there's a series number 2. The only way that thing there is at number 3 currently is, you know, the sort of feeling you get when you're driving past a car crash and you think, oh, I shouldn't look, but bloody hell, I can't help but get me binoculars out. Intrigue is the only reason that thing there is number 3. If you've seen it, you know why. If you haven't seen it, I personally wouldn't bother. And I'm making that potential segment for next week's show there a huge WTF moment. Because quite frankly, Sonia, what's the point? You know what's coming, don't you? You've done it now, you're gonna make a big mistake, etc, etc. I cannot wait for old Booger Gold, Mandy, to make Sonia famous. And we end things with me saying, no, 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 they still haven't learned, have they? As we all know, Bray Wyatt should never, ever, ever have been involved in the Universal Championship picture and tarnished the way that WWE tarnished him by having old man Goldberg beat him clean in Saudi Arabia. But they've gone and put him back in there, back in the Universal Championship picture, where they can potentially tarnish him once again. How many times do you want to tarnish this wonderful thing? And I was thinking the Firefly Funhouse match, that was magic. It was magical. It was wonderful. But WWE, how many times are you banking on yourselves producing that kind of magic to salvage the Fiend after something like Saudi Arabia happens to his character? Stop putting him in Universal Championship picture, man. He doesn't need it. But is anybody else watching that segment from last night's SmackDown wondering what the hell Braun Strowman did to Bray Wyatt for Bray Wyatt to say to Braun Strowman, Braun, I want you to say sorry? Because as far as I can remember, back in 2016, the draft happened. Bray and Eric Rowan, they went to SmackDown, and Braun, he was drafted to Raw. There was nothing Braun could do about the draft unless he wanted to be fired. He would have been fired if he said, no, I want to go with them, didn't he? Wouldn't he? He would have. Yeah, he would. And so there we have it, all the WTF moments from this week's SmackDown. I think done, done, done. I am still absolutely knackered from WrestleMania 35, 36 weekend. It was WrestleMania 36. I don't know where I am. I'm off to sleep for a bit. Ta-da.